million people crammed into this country, and very quickly you start to see the accumulation of not just trash, but the overuse of space and the environment. And you know, they're playing catch up. They're trying to figure out how to, you know, adjust their new lifestyle and this many people to this small environment.
So they tend to focus on their growth and trying to grow as an economy as fast as possible, and they sort of like overlook the sort of environmental areas. But I think because Qatar is such a rapidly growing economy, I think you need to give it time for it to grow a little bit, and then to like sort of mature as an economy and start to realize it needs to cut down on its carbon footprint.
Qatar is a rapidly developing country with a ridiculous rate of population growth, which does wonders for the economy, but is hell for the environment. Is this a state of emergency? In an attempt to sustain the environment, the Ministry of Environmental and Agricultural Affairs put in place a deposit of 10,000 riyals for all monthly campers.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is the litter. When people go out in the dunes and they leave stuff behind.
But as you can see, day campers are still at liberty to pollute without consequence. Large camps still have a visible impact on the environment. We travelled to Sea Line to see how the juniors feel about their impact on the environment.
The people coming in on their cars, that's really messing up the dunes. Yeah. Whereas the bikes, I mean, the light, we've got thin tyres, they don't really make much of a difference. They don't really make much of a difference.
And that used a whole tank? Or?
Yeah, well, we've been messing around as well on the way back.
One full tank, which is around 8 litres.
Generally I use about 1 tank, which is 4 litres or so.
It's about 10 litres is always empty, 10 litres takes about it. Now, of course, for the nature, it would be much better if they could have a track as well. I think if they would build up a track, we could ride as well. It doesn't matter, we don't need to go straight, we can go on a track. And the same we have in Germany as well. We are not allowed to go in the forest somewhere. We're always going on tracks, and this is quite cool.
Recreation doesn't have to involve 4x4s and ATVs. Mountain bikes and sandboards are a perfect alternative. They have less emissions in travel and use, and they have less physical impact on the surroundings. Not to mention they're a healthy activity with the same exhilarating experience. It's immense. It might take some practice though. Have another go, Will. Purple Island presented us with a familiar scene, Qatar's reckless consumption of natural resources. The purple dye trade became extinct after all resources were consumed. With the current rate of fuel consumption, Qatar seems to be heading the same way. These 3,000-year-old ruins of the vats used in purple dye production are an example of Qatar's heritage being left unprotected. The island and surrounding mangroves are protected by the fact that vehicles are prevented from entering. However, some still manage. Others have resorted to the sky. Nature is making the most of man's wasteful behaviour. Ongoing construction looms over the landscape. Al Wakra is a similar case.
No one was. There's some good injuries, but...
In the daylight, these galendulas are a carpet of yellow. However, the flowers are tainted with litter, and the beach is often used as a playground for motorised vehicles. Who can make a difference?
And maybe one small 10-person environmental club could actually start up a movement. But if every single one of us does a small thing, and if people see you doing those small things, it grows and grows and grows, till you've actually achieved certain goals like reducing a carbon footprint of the school or of the community, or helped to clean up, or just made the place a much greener, friendlier environment to live in.
The Natural History Group do respect Qatar's environment and heritage. When we visited the wildlife sanctuary at Creek, we failed to see any wildlife because there are no permanent enclosures. The only animal life we came across was at Sukwaki. I bet they died that.
But it does remind me of what life was like in the United States in the early 1970s, when if you walked along the road, you saw trash and cans and bottles all over the place, and you did see people throwing things out of the windows, but there was a large national effort called I remember it was all over the TV with, Keep America Clean campaign, and it took a number of years, but it became unacceptable to pollute the environment, and I think they really need to make an effort along those lines here, because I think the biggest problem is just a lack of awareness. They just don't see or understand the impact that the way they're throwing things around is really having on the environment.